After months of being idle, the Maserati Biturbo finally arrives at its new home. A place where classics come back to life and where the most important part of this story begins. And in this stage, I don't start it. We only have the help of Dynasty Motors in Batch, a workshop where classics are not only repaired, but brought back to life. A team that understands what it means to rescue a story, give it a second chance, and take on projects as difficult as this one. Maserati Biturbo, 20 years sitting still and waiting for its moment to roar again. My name is Mark and I'm crazy about Maserati cars. Before starting with the mechanical part, it's worth remembering where this Maserati Biturbo comes from.
Maybe I bought it 20 years ago, or 25 or 30, whatever. Yes, maybe. You don't understand me. It's without an engine? No, we took it out to check it, and this car is perfect. It's not spotless, right? Well, we washed it, and you tell me where this car was.
And the truth is, he was right. What at first seemed like a wreck covered in dust slowly began to reveal its true shape, its color, its lines, its soul. At that time, we also thought the car didn't have an engine. A huge disappointment because without a heart there's no project, but the surprise was big. Do you know what this is? Yes. It's on...
It's without an engine. We took it out to take a look at it.
Damn! The Biturbo was still complete. Original engine, gearbox, transmission, everything was still there, waiting to run again. And that's why today we're here in Vals with the Dynasty Motors team, Michael, Mark, and the crew to try the impossible, to bring back to life a Maserati Biturbo that's been asleep for over 20 years. Because if there's one thing I've learned from all these projects, it's that every classic has its moment to be reborn, and this one's time has come. We're at the door. Let's ring the bell and see if Michael comes out. Hey Michael, how are you? Do you have a gift for me? Looks like you don't, huh? It's there, it's right there. You've covered it up. We've covered it so it lasts longer for you. Well guys, they took it completely dirty. They took it to Valencia. They did all the detailing work. These guys are amazing, and now we're going to see what they've done. And they've kept it like this as a surprise to see my reaction. So I'm handing the camera to Yolanda. Okay, it's yours, it's yours. Come on, come on. I couldn't believe it, really. I had spent years watching cars being restored, but I had never seen a detailing job like this. Bass Motor has done something incredible, no? They've brought back the shine, the texture, the essence of the car, just like when it left the dealership. And at that moment, as I removed the cover, all I could think was, this is how a Maserati is supposed to look. Is that the paint job they did? Have you seen how it looked before? But it seems intentional. The color changed, making everything look beautiful. It's truly amazing. And what about the fact that it's missing the turn signals now? And all the trims I have, yes, some chrome details. Yes, I have them all. The rear logo too. I have everything, which is the ceramic one. It looks spectacular. It's a very honest car. Honestly, it's very complete. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Really?
I didn't expect it to turn out so well. Yeah, I don't know if you saw my initial expression, but just lifting it a little, I was really stunned. To the restoration of the painting, it looks like it's because of some small scratches it has on the surface. It looks like these people painted it instead of just cleaning it. No, doesn't it look like they painted it? They took it to Valencia and painted my car? Wow, thank you, really, thank you, damn, that's funny, man. Let's check out the interior. They've cleaned that too. And it doesn't smell anymore. Wow.
Interesting, because this one looks almost entirely 70s or late 70s, but the last ones have the body kit. Do you know which one? I mean, with the little spoiler and all that? And they look like they're from the 90s.
They called it the 222
It might be 222.
or something like that. It was.
It looks like a completely different car, yes, but the subtlety it has, and knowing that it has a V6 biturbo carbureted. Also, yes.
What you know is never going to work well, of course. And look, the dashboard is so beautiful in navy blue.
Yes, huh? Everything, and the feel of the gearbox is amazing. It's really good. Yes, let's see what happens.
I still need to buy the central clock, which I haven't been able to find, but I have everything else from the vehicle. Should everything be in the trunk or somewhere else? Yes, because it's missing one and I already have it too.
Ah.
Yes, I bought it too, and well...
Being an Italian car from this era, the clock is probably from Fiat, right?
You need to use a lot of force. Yes, push it in. Now.
Brutal.
It didn't have an engine?
No.
Yes.
I know to watch it in order, right? That's amazing.
I think that's why he gave it to me more as a gift. It didn't have an engine because very well.
Smaller than it looked from the outside, huh? The engine? V6 with twin turbos. The throttle valves aren't even seized.
Ankara.
That's surprising. Do you know if this engine shares the same base as the Citroën SM and others?
Well, no.
Because it looks similar with the vertical spark plugs. But this one has a very different carburation and it's not turbo. Of course, if you want.
I'm asking you.
Has it already been repaired here in the bell where the carburetors go?
Which is very typical.
I suppose because when it's tightened, it cracks.
And they have to be tightened very well, because if not, the carburation doesn't work well. Yes. I have the pump disconnected.
Well, no, this is the fuel pressure regulator.
You know that we handle the regulators and the pumps completely.
Are you jealous in another garage? I'll put the tubes in, not you guys, okay? And here, I don't know if you've already mentioned it. I guess you have in some video.
Well, we've only made one video so far.
But the curious thing about Y is not just that we have an engine, but the timing belt is in the trunk. Convenient, yes.
But it has a cylinder?
With a cylinder that doesn't really inspire confidence either, and we have the auxiliary belts installed. They might have started to change them, then decided to just cut them, but the tensioner is installed wrong. See, the tensioner here isn't correct.
I put this here, okay, yes, I put it here.
Okay. So yesterday when you said you put it upside down...
I meant, but you only did this, I meant this,
You didn't put this one?
No, I didn't put this one.
This one is also upside down. Upside down. Notice that it looks different. Okay. And this side of the edge is curved.
Is that true?
So you can put the strap over it? No.
I put it, not the tensioner. Okay, that's what I did. The mechanic at first, who this car was taken to initially, was an Italian gentleman who specialized in this type of car. That's why it surprises me and everything that he put it on wrong. But we don't know the story, what happened, and what we're here for now at Dynasty is to give you a surprise because these gentlemen are going to try to get it running. I mean, there's a 50% chance that this engine is fine, so let's see if we can improve the odds.
Yeah, if it had a timing system, I'd feel better, but since it doesn't, let's say 50%.
If I had put it on the other way and put the belt on, nothing would have happened.
It would have cost more.
Fit it well, and that's it?
And that's it. So first...
So this isn't saying that it's wrong? No, for now we don't know that at all.
Removing spark plugs. Actually here it's easy, like taking out the spark plugs. They're right here vertically.
What are you gonna do, take out the spark plugs?
We'll remove the spark plugs and use an old trick for engines that have been sitting a long time. Because normally, even from the humidity in the air, rings, literally, of rust form around the pistons. Don't start it right away, you could damage the rings or scratch the cylinders. Remove the spark plugs first. Since we have them out, we can even look inside with the little camera to see what we find. Fill the cylinders with automatic transmission fluid Textron 3, the classic red type, and let them sit for 24 hours. That's a starting point, and if you find automatic transmission fluid in the oil pan, it means the rings aren't in good condition. They're mainly used to break the rust layer, making it safe to move the pistons afterward. Once we've done this, we're going to put on the timing belt, the old one you have in the trunk, because for the first start, I've already checked. The belt is...
I also saw that it was fine.
Turn it by hand. If it spins more than 2 or 3 times without strange noises, there are no issues. That starts the process from there.
At that point, Mark is going to spend the money and say, go ahead, start it up, let's see. New pump, new spark plugs, new belt. This one?
For a good warm-up. This car, because it's such an icon.
I like it. Keep talking.
Keep talking. V6 Biturbo, plus carburetors. It has all the ingredients.
All the ingredients to not work well, yes.
Yes, it just needs hydroelastic suspension or something similar to complete it.
To really finish it off, and then you'd say, hey, it's not complicated at all.
They brought us the car yesterday. Mark was there. I wasn't there when we received it.
Mark is the other partner at Dynasty.
Yes, my partner, since we look alike. And he records a video that I'll show you at some point, right? To post about Ostia. Another car from Mark arrives, but won't you send us a 600 for a simple carburetor job? No.
I'm not keeping these for myself. It's just that we don't know how to do this. It's not fun. Well, it's fun, but we don't know how to do this. We don't have the level for this kind of adventure.
It's not just skill. Patience and being informed matter too, right?
All right.
I'm really curious.
And this is clean, all polished. To add dignity to the brand.
It's curious, isn't it? How simple the engine bay looks without any inventions is the magic of carburation. I would change everything to carburetors.
The truth is that once they start...
It's much easier.
Yeah, well, guys, we're going to come back in a few days, okay? For you, it'll be just seconds because it'll be right after this video, okay? And we'll see what happened. If it makes noise when it spins or not.
It starts up, yes?
And I also think that, knowing Patricia a little, I think the man says, wow, this is going to cost a lot of money. Nothing. Leave it like that. Don't touch it. Nothing else. And I leave it like that.
It's likely because even the sleeves don't have the clamps on. They left it halfway.
Yes.
Exactly, and halfway assembled already.
This is what I saw. See, there are no brackets here, see? And this is what you start doing as an archaeologist, not just starting to think, what could have happened to leave it like this?
If you stop to think about it optimistically, because of course the brigas might not be there. This might be because they were dismantling a broken engine, but there's a piston in the trunk. Something already came out here, and the brigas aren't just loosely attached. When removing it, you just loosen, not remove the brida. So he was likely assembling it.
Let's see, we'll see it in a few seconds.
All right, Mark, next week.
Yeah, it works for me. Will you let me know the day? Yes.
On Monday, we'll take a look. We'll start lubricating the pistons and all that stuff. We'll talk on Tuesday.
Perfect, and let's see what happens. We'll see you next week. Mikel, thanks. See you later. Bye. The other day we came to Dynasty to see the car, and they've already put in the automatic transmission fluid, and today we'll find out if this car's engine is good or if it's broken. If it's broken, the project is over. If it's good, we'll start the Maserati project on Mark's Garage channel. So don't go anywhere, because now comes the crucial part.
If it doesn't compress, yeah, I think the groove matches the ones here. If it's stuck like this or it's the groove, I don't know. No, but there's less light. Now you have to turn a bit to grab this, which is the ratchet.
When you finish with this, can you explain to me what you're doing? And I see that this motor is spinning.
For now, we're doing more or less fine. What happens is that it seems we've found a few stuck exhaust valves in this bank, and we're trying to free them without having to take everything apart. Suéltalo. Turn it over. Can you see it now? No? That one's still stuck. This one, yes. This one moves now. This one moves, right? Yeah, let's see. Go ahead. Ah, no, this one won't reach. It won't reach. And the other one is this one here. Ah, this one moved. Look, see, it moves perfectly. It's already unstuck.
That one, it's still, well, it's this one, right? Yeah, we need something thinner, maybe. Okay, Mark, here's the situation.
The first question is whether this engine was being assembled or disassembled, because here the car came without an engine. But here it's obvious that we found a cylinder. Yes, we found a cylinder. That's the first thing. We've checked the cylinder and it has an outer diameter of 90 millimeters. For these cars, whether 2 liters or 2,500, the piston diameter ranged from 80 to 82.
With something...
Meaning it wasn't
His? No, it wasn't his. They gave you a piston that you can use as an extreme keychain if you want to hit your knee or something like that.
is a big one, okay, for this?
An exact big one?
So, ruling that out, you end up with more questions than answers, of course. The next thing is we've checked the engine number, and that's what needs to be done for this car. And we had to check it to see if the timing belt we had in the trunk was the right one or not. The timing belt. If we look at it up close, luckily you can still see a few codes. It's in pretty good condition, at least good enough to try the first start here. 194R-20. Yes, if it were a different engine code than the one it's supposed to have, instead of an R, this would be an S. It's related to the number of valves, number of teeth, and so on. This is also good news because after confirming we had the right belt, we noticed the auxiliary belts were installed. One to the alternator and another to the compressor. That's odd, since it's rare to have no timing belt, yet still have auxiliary belts. What was our theory? That they took out the old engine and got an engine from a donor or from a junkyard, but to take out the old engine. And even more, does a V engine car have it? Ideal for removing the compressor, taking the compressor off the engine, and leaving it hanging. Because that way you don't have to disconnect the gas pipes, and it doesn't discharge. Being carbureted, it has minimal wiring, and you can do the same with the alternator. Since it's down here, remove these 2 screws and this one, then let it hang by its wires.
And they were hanging.
The theory is that they left them hanging and put in the donor engine. And then, before continuing with the assembly, they installed the auxiliaries and checked that they were in the right position, putting on the belts that were completely loose. Right now it looks like the engine has no oil or anything else, but that's normal for one from a scrapyard. So far, all signs point to them replacing the broken engine with this one. The crankshaft turns smoothly. We've removed the spark plugs and blown out leftover water from the spark plug holes after cleaning. Yes, we've checked. All the pistons are inside and none of them look damaged, wet, or burned. Wow, that's great, isn't it? So far, so good. We've added automatic transmission fluid, so if it starts, it'll smoke a lot at first, but that will stop. The camshaft on this bank moves correctly, and we're working to adjust this one properly. You might not see it on camera, but there's a hole in the pulley here. Yes, that hole needs to be aligned with this notch under the screw. Alright, this one is mostly set. We'll finish adjusting it, then set the crankshaft, which turns fine, so there shouldn't be any problems. This one here wasn't finished. They just put it in, but nothing else was done. This one needs to be aligned with this notch here.
It's far.
It's too far, and we can't reach it. When it gets stuck, the crankshaft still moves, so the valve doesn't hit the pistons. So the next thing we had to do was take off this cover.
That's what you saw at the start of the video I was recording.
Exactly, we took off the cover. The camshafts are new, which is impressive given the low mileage. This engine is well maintained, and it appears a couple of the exhaust valves, possibly these two, stand out. In fact, if you look at it from here, you'll see that the height of this tappet is different from the height of the tappet next to it. You can see it on camera. What we're trying to do is unstick it and let the valve spring itself pull it back into place, but assuming it's not the valve that's stuck. If we hit it and it keeps going lower and lower, we've got a problem. We'll need to remove the cylinder head or camshaft area. Try pulling out the small head and the valve. Right now we had 3 stuck valves, but we just saw on camera the first one got unstuck. All right, let's keep going. It's not an elegant process, especially with the client or the owner here. Why, to be blunt, must you hit it so hard? But right now, if we don't want to take the engine apart, it's necessary.
No, we don't want to take the engine apart. This is just good news, and I'm ready to see the smoke you were talking about. So don't go anywhere, because in a little while we'll see if this engine roars or not.
Now it's clear that this tappet doesn't return. The tappet doesn't return, but it's the valve that just can't return.
Now, this cylinder head was removed. It looks like this area was redone, possibly during a war, since the Allens are damaged.
And there has been a wrench in here. Not just the original one, not the cylinder head out, or we give it a couple of sockets we can try before to see if by preloading with more hits, you're actually preloading the spring more, which then pulls the valve outward.
So maybe it reaches a point of preload where it has enough force to break off the carbon buildup or whatever is in there. Release the valve. Usually these issues involve exhaust valves since they face higher temperatures. And then to soot, carbon buildup, and things like that. The valve is lower than the others. It's here because it's stuck. Let's see, we can give it a couple more. For now, we see that it's not touching the crankshaft because the crankshaft moves, so we can still give it a couple of taps. And let's see what it does.
The other way is to very carefully grab this one here and pull it, or keep working with it until we finally manage to get it out completely.
And all of this is to avoid removing the cylinder head because we're doing things the way we are, which is to see if we can save the engine or not. With this car, if you're willing to pay, just pull the engine, rebuild it, and you're set.
The last option is to remove the exhaust manifold with the turbo, which lets you see the exhaust valve mechanically. Push it out, alternate between tapping to one side and pushing, ensuring everything stays in place.
And let's see what.
Do you think the fact that this engine didn't have oil caused it?
No, because when an engine sits with oil, the pressure fades and eventually all the oil drains into the oil pan. So the components were just left open. If we look, we just took off the cylinder head and look at this bolt. And that's from moisture, from condensation, yes.
Yes.
That's likely the source of the problem. You combine the humidity with a bit of rust, with the fact that it's an exhaust valve and it's going to be dirtier, and they end up getting stuck. That's why it's crucial not to just install a battery and turn the key to see what happens. Because this engine, for example, people who grab the pulley and move it, damn, it's free perfect, right? We can turn it 3 full times. Why? Because this valve is operated by the starter motor. Everything would have turned and the camshaft would have pushed the valve down, but it wouldn't have come back up on its own. So it's what's called an interference engine, where the valve stays down and doesn't retract due to the effect of the spring. It would have hit the piston and we would have bent the valve. So if you hadn't checked here to see if any valve was stuck, right? As soon as this had turned over with the starter, would you have bent a valve?
Let's see, does this gentleman not understand why I brought the car here to Dynasty Workshop, or do I have to explain it to him?
Yeah, you already know what I like is saving these old wrecks.
I brought it specifically to you so this wouldn't happen, because I know the price and how hard it is to find the parts. So I didn't want to risk anything. That's why when I had to think about which shop to take it to so they could look at this, well, yes.
Look, it's not complicated, and in theory, a shop shouldn't just put in a battery and start it. That's it. Mainly, I'm making this comment for hobbyists, you know? The people who do this at home, right? Yes?
Me, I do this. We do this in our Margarach workshop, these things. We do it in the parking lots. I don't know if you've seen videos, and we do it. But these are cars that are worth very little money, and we try it with this car, which is worth nothing.
But above all, turn it by hand, 2 or 3 turns by hand. If we turn it 2 or 3 times, we already have a good chance that nothing will get stuck here. Let's try to take out the valve.
Look at it.
Look at it, that's it.
That's it, now it's done.
That's it. Finally, it took you a while, huh?
A little bit.
The truth is, the whole Dynas team has tried everything and they were all already exhausted. Yes, we have an engine about to start.
Clean, assemble the cylinder head again, and from there, synchronize the crankshaft, camshafts, and turn the engine. All together to see if exactly, at least or more, because it's the first time it will turn together.
You'll have to put oil in before turning it.
Since the cylinders are already filled with automatic transmission fluid, adding more isn't needed and could cause overflow, with automatic transmission fluid possibly coming out through the spark plug holes. Once we have to turn it over using the starter motor, then yes, you have to add oil to make sure everything is well lubricated. But for now, just to be able to turn it a little by hand, we won't need it.
Let's see the bearing caps. One is thicker and one is, yes, I see.
This one is quite strange.
Is it no good? Well, let's see. Why would you say that is? Well, no idea. Let's see.
Is the car Italian?
Explain it to him.
Oh, he does. He has to push two, right? Do you see how it usually goes? He pushes the valve through the center. This is where the cap we explained earlier is. Yes, since it has two intake valves. They didn't want to add two lifters. The same cam lobe or camshaft lobe costs more. It only pushes one lifter, but the lifter has thicker walls. Do you see it? Yes, it pushes the lower two valves from the midpoint.
Are these things beautiful?
Yes, good. Or in France? That's why I guess the Citroën SM decided to use a very similar engine. They said, what's the worst thing we can take from Italy? To add the worst thing we could have taken from France. That's what they said. What if they'd added a cup holder or electricity? Lucas, are you serious? We must repeat the operation. Turning the tank, which indicates that the valve hasn't gone all the way up and isn't pressing against the new one. Well... And puts it on a little.
I thought we were going to start it this afternoon, but he'll have to come tomorrow.
Are you getting a hotel to go? The first gear escape? This one does unload them. Let's take it out.
We'll leave it for today, not for today, just for an hour to eat maybe, and let everything work, cool down again, and then we'll try again. The process isn't pretty, nor is it necessarily correct. At this point, it's the best we can do since we still need to see if the engine can be saved. Later, we'll find out if removing cylinder heads or making guides is easy. A minimal check, but we have to make sure what condition the engine is in before we start opening everything up. Externally, we need to disconnect the valves in the rocker arms as much as possible. That's it. So are we going to eat now? What about lunch?
Who? I thought they were never going to say it, these gentlemen. We came back from lunch really full, and this guy is already back with the car again. Come on, Mikel, you can do it. Oh.
He'll end up getting out, but from here until he does.
This one doesn't want to, huh?
No, maybe they'll even give us dinner, huh?
We left Mikel working in silence. Tomorrow could be the big day. Will it finally be ready to start, or does this Maserati still have a surprise in store? Well, we just arrived at Dynasty yesterday, spent the whole day trying to unstick valves. There's still one left to unstick. Let's see what happens. So here I am. I've arrived. It's now 1:15 because I couldn't come in the morning. I imagine they've been working. Let's see if they give me some good news. Most likely we're going to see the car working. I'm sure that's the surprise they had for me. You'll see. Who wants to explain what's going on?
Do you want to uncover it, or should we? Mark, we've already been in here.
Don't tell me, but there's a surprise.
As you can see, the valve is still lower than the others.
Yes, there hasn't been...
Any way to loosen it due to what remained?
The TF works.
We didn't remove the exhaust manifold because the TF didn't work this time. It didn't perform miracles. No.
What happened? Let's see.
Didn't we plug this after removing the exhaust to fill it with automatic transmission fluid or something to see if it would loosen up? And in the morning, we saw not only that it was still the same and wouldn't move, but also that the automatic transmission fluid was no longer inside.
Ooh.
With the exhaust already out, which is most of the work, removing the intake is easy.
I can imagine.
12 bolts.
No. Don't tell me, let's see.
It hurts you because it's your car, and me because it's our pride. And my theories from yesterday? Ugh.
The wrong theory?
Yes.
Oops.
The car said something. You were right.
I have to say yes. I mean, when...
You make a mistake?
This right here, are you telling me that this right here is possible? It was in there? Yes.
And check the trunk. See if there's a valve there too.
No, oh my God, no, no.
The crankshaft looks great, thanks if that's any comfort.
No, don't look.
We're not saying it half jokingly, because we're with you now, in confidence, and that's not the situation.
No.
It's not the ideal situation, not by any means.
You didn't just get my hopes up, you made me dream tonight about the car, me driving it.
We were all dreaming.
I thought today you would start it up, and now you come to me with this. Seriously?
Yeah, unfortunately the piston isn't there, huh? The valve head isn't there either. No, it's no good.
Please write down the cylinder for me too, I need it, right?
The clutch, the cylinder is easy to get to now. The cylinder, yes.
Clutch cylinder, which I also needed.
When we began removing the cylinder head and exhaust manifolds, we saw the bolts were in place. Surely this is the same, practically by hand. They weren't even tightened. I mean, they had already disassembled it. Of course, at first we couldn't understand the size of the piston because this is supposed to be a 2-liter and this doesn't match anything we found about 2-liter piston sizes. And then we do see that it has a notch here. You can see it, camera.
Yes, you can see it now.
But it's not missing 2 rings either. We can't quite see. The casing looks new or almost new. It's not worn out. Why was this taken out? Maybe the fact that the automatic transmission fluid we put in went to the oil pan means the rings are shot, and that's why it was burning a lot of oil, so they decided to take it apart.
But only one piston. See how much play it has.
Right? So
Here, the automatic transmission fluid didn't hold up at all, just like Mikel says. And that's even though it's thicker than we thought.
why now exactly?
And the curious thing is that we found the oil pan doesn't seem to be damaged. We don't really know how they took it apart, or if it was an engine they wanted to save, checked what was inside, and then put it back together. What? Why didn't they want to do the repair?
We'll never know since Patricia doesn't remember. At first, she told me we didn't have an engine, so it's already a surprise to have found an engine in here. Is there something?
Yes, on one hand, everything we found yesterday had a positive result, in quotes, right? Finding a few stuck valves was actually good, because if they weren't stuck, we would have just installed the timing belt. This would have turned and we would have tried to start it, right? Maybe it would have even started.
Let's see. Yes, yes.
And then comes the next problem, which is that you go crazy wondering why it's jerking, why it sounds terrible, and so on. And this was a piston. Yes, well, we would have noticed earlier, yes, but this is the current situation. I don't know what your plan is with the car. I know what my heart would tell me.
But from my experience, all these cars end up in the junkyard for the same reason. I know there are no spare parts, so there's very little material for this vehicle. For me, and I feel bad saying it, but I think we should leave the project here. I wanted to thank Dynasty, the Dynasty Workshop, both Mar and Mikel, because they made this happen. Completely bulky together, and that's why they were removing the valves in a traditional way, like for one person, not at the level of mechanics they have. As you can imagine, I'm sure more than one of you was surprised by the way they were doing it. And it was simply to do something economical. And to get to this point, to understand the reason for this car and why it was abandoned 20 years ago. Yes.
It's about sticking to the process even when done at home. No, because at workshops like ours, the main philosophy when dealing with stuck valves is simply to apologize. Engine out, everything new, 4,000 euros spent, let's see what happens now. It's more about camaraderie, which might explain why the attitude now isn't like, damn. A piston is missing, you take it as a joke and try somehow to start it no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah, I initially told them that this cylinder belonged to this car but they said no. It can't be because of the diameter, because this was originally a 2-liter engine, but this engine has already been changed. It's already telling you that they were really bad, because it's a 2,500 engine, they had already been changed. We already saw it in the valves, that there weren't 12 valves, but 18, because it's already the previous model.
Yesterday, at the last minute on camera, we saw the engine code was 2,500.
And now things are starting to fit together with this gear here. I mean, but I'm telling you, I thought I was wrong, and that everything was fine, and that we were going to enjoy it. But I hope you liked it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and that's the way it is in the restaurant business. It's a car worth 5,500 euros, and you can already find some running with the inspection passed. And logically, we're not going to go crazy spending more money than the car is actually worth here. We'll leave it here. I don't know, you tell me in the comments if I'm doing it right or wrong. Now you're going to say, you spent 10,000 euros on a crappy Skoda Rapid. How could you not fix this car? You spend who knows how much on a Celica? Why couldn't you fix a Biturbo? Because the Biturbo. We all know that these cars all had these crazy mechanical problems, and I just can't find one. We can't just make up the parts, the missing parts.
It's like the toxic girlfriend.
Yeah, it's a toxic girlfriend, but when you have a toxic girlfriend, you end up going back without a girlfriend. No, just to be clear, because my wife is watching the videos. And I keep saying yes, and it's like I'm saying I have a girlfriend too, and no, that's definitely not the case. Well. My name is Mark, and I'm crazy about cars.